Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from.
Right, now we're going to do another character reveal. This one is of Spider-Man India, Pavitra Pavakar. He lives in a world we're calling Mumbattan, which is based on these 70s comic books in India.
Yeah, the idea for this dimension is that it's Manhattan.
There it is, Spider-Punk, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya.
So cool.
Tobey Brown. He's got a lot of flair.
He's a really fun character. Daniel is, he and Gwen are best buddies, and they have a rapport. They're both musicians. They're both like badass, and it makes Miles feel a little jealous that they've got this like this bond going on between them, and he's a lot of fun character. Peter got back with Mary Jane, and they had a baby, baby Mayday. Who was in the film. It is true. She looks like this. She's half spider blood in her, so she's got some spider stuff going on. Parenting is hard enough when they don't have the ability to stick to walls.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse dropped another trailer. There's like a bonus trailer with a bunch of other characters like Spider-Punk. So I figured I'd do a video just for all the different versions that show up in the trailer. I named some of them in my previous video. I'll talk about all of them during this video. And there's supposed to be over 240 characters in the movie. Not all those are supposed to be versions of Spider-Man, but you can let me know if you found 200 distinct versions of Spider-Man in this first trailer. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. First big one is Spider-Man India. We finally get a look at him. We went to his world in the previous teaser trailer, but we haven't actually seen him in that other trailer yet. This is what Spider-Punk is going to look like. They say that he actually has a special relationship with Spider-Gwen in the movie because they're both musicians, and the new shoes that she's wearing in the trailer are given to her by Spider-Punk, like those are Spider-Punk shoes. They also introduced special versions of Haley Steinfeld in real life as a version of Spider-Man, like her Spider-Sona with her 2 dogs. Those are her actual dogs in real life, done as versions of Spider-Man. Then obviously we know Miles Morales is coming back, saw him in the trailer, I already talked about Spider-Gwen, Peter B. Parker coming back, who now has his child Mayday Parker from the comics. This is what she looks like. They reveal a better look at her in that second trailer. And obviously Spider-Man 2099 is one of the antagonists that they introduced in the teaser trailer. He's featured very prominently. But then starting at the billion different versions that they show at this multiverse base of theirs, the name of their team that Spider-Man 2099 has put together is called the Spider Force. They've assembled to clean up the damage that the Accelerator caused to the multiverse in the first movie. So in the background of this first shot here, like before it zooms out, there are like 10 different versions. On the left, it seems like there's a version of MCU Spider-Man, kind of hard to tell because of the YouTube compression making it super blurry, talking to a version of the Canadian Spider-Man. His suit was just like the classic suit, except it was red and black instead of red and blue. Next to them is the Velocity suit talking to what looks like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. They did say that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland would probably have cameos during this movie. So don't be surprised if you think you spot MCU Spider-Man Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield's variant. Then way in the back, there's a version of the classic red and blue suit, just like the regular classic suit from the original comics, with another black suit that might be a version of the Anti-Ox suit. Some of these suits are also from the cartoons, the many, many different cartoons over the years too. On the right, it looks like the classic Iron Spider red suit talking to the Electro-proof suit, and another black suit that's a little too blurry to see which black suit it is. Then on the far right, there's one peeking around the corner that's another red armor suit that looks kind of like a version of the classic Iron Spider suit. It could be one of the Spider armor suits too. There are a couple of those in the trailer. Then slowly zooming out a little bit at a time because there's so many versions here. In this first frame, it seems like Earth 916211 Spider-Man, who just wore a suit that was similar to this. Behind him, I can't tell who this female yellow variant is. There was a yellow variant of the classic suit in the PS4 game that looked kind of like this. Behind her seems like a version of Spider-Girl wearing a variant suit from the Amazing Spider-Man 1000. They were from an unknown reality during that. This is the black and gold bulletproof Mark II Spider armor suit talking to what looks like the Bruce Banner Spider-Man variant, like the Hulk who became a version of Spider-Man and just had a white and blue costume like this. In the middle here, featured very prominently, is Spider-Man from the PS4 game talking to Ben Reilly in a version of his Ultimate costume. In the lower left-hand corner, I'm not sure which one this red and blue symbol is, but it seems like a variant of the Velocity suit, one of the newer video game-based suits. To the right of the yellow and black suit seems like a version of the AIM Spider-Man who had been brainwashed by them. Then when you zoom out a little more, these two behind them seem like versions of Jessica Drew, and behind her is another version of Jessica Drew in the red and white suit, like a couple different variants of Jessica Drew. Remember, there's almost like 200 versions of Spider-Man in this movie, so not all of them will be variants of Peter Parker. Some of them will be variants of the other female characters in the film as well. Pretty much anybody in the comics, the games, any media that's ever put on any version of a Spider-Man suit is in this movie. Zoom out a little more, this is steampunk Spider-Girl named Maybelle Riley talking to another massive Peter Parker variant in a basic red and blue suit. There are a couple of chonky versions of Peter Parker in this, some of them fat and just some of them super swole. On the left is Spider-Cop, behind him seems like the Mangaverse Spider-Man. These two girls are Spinnerette, who's a variant of Mary Jane Parker that gets powers, and her daughter with Peter Parker named Annie Mae Parker. To the right, this isn't meant to be naked Spider-Woman, it's just a pink and red suit. Further to the right, there's what looks like a version of the Fear Itself suit. It's not exactly like Fear Itself, but it's pretty close. Talking to another classic red and blue variant. To the far right, there's a big group of them talking to each other. The big one seems like a variant of the Flipside Spider-Man. He's talking to what might be another variant of Jessica Drew in a similar red and white suit. The blue suit seems like the Spider-Man Fantastic Four suit, the classic one, not the Future Foundation suit that was white. Next to her, there are two more that I can't totally make out. One of them is another super thick version of Spider-Man. Zoom out again, you see the Bombastic Bagman. Next to him, I believe, is a variant of Flash Thompson's Spider-Man from the comics wearing the Midtown High Letterman jacket. Behind them, I'm not sure who the red and yellow one is supposed to be. This one above them seems like the classic Spider Armor version. Above him, it seems like a version of one of the earlier video game Spider-Man, but I can't tell which one it is. Over on the right, there's another yellow and black variant of what seems like the Anti-Ock suit. On the far right, this red and black version seems like a variant of Superior Spider-Man. Above him, the glowing yellow and black suit is another video game suit. I can't tell exactly which one this is. This is Werewolf Spider-Man, pretty easy to spot. Zoom out again, there's a few more on the edges here. So next to the yellow Spider-Man seems like a variant of Spider-Man UK. Above them seems like a version of Spider-Man Negative. Next to him, the all-blue Spider-Man seems like another variant of Spider-Cop. The chunky Spider-Man next to him seems like another version of Earth X Spider-Man. On the bottom left, this seems like a variant of Silk. Then when they all try to dogpile Miles Morales, like they all start going at him, they're in this exact same area, and most of the ones that are going after him are the ones that I just talked about that were sitting around casually. But there are a couple new ones in here. This is Anya Corazon. This is Superior Spider-Man. This is Six-Armed Spider-Man who grabs him with all of his arms, along with a version of the classic Spider Armor. This is one of the newer Spider Armor suits. It could also be the Fortnite version of Spider-Man 2. This one wearing the business suit is Dapper Spider-Man, who's actually based on fan art and cosplay. Like, not all the versions I think in this are meant to be Spider-Man from the comics, the movies, or the games. Some of them are from real-life fan art, which seems very much in the tone of the Spider-Verse movies. Like, some of the variants are going to be the fan fiction versions of Spider-Man. Then this isn't meant to be MCU Spider-Man Tom Holland. This is still PS4 Spider-Man, the same red variant next to him, and what looks like a suit from the later Secret Wars event. This is Kane over on the left, for those of you hoping that Kane would be in here. There's also Spider Monkey up top. I believe this is a new variant wearing the tracksuit in the regular shoes. All the others are ones that I just mentioned that were sitting around previously. When he starts web-slinging towards camera, one of the new ones in this scene, I believe, is the Spider-Man from the Ultimate cartoon. There are a couple cartoon versions of Spider-Man, like Spider-Man from the 90s animated series. This is the Mangaverse Spider-Man again, trying to nab him. Then in my last video, I already talked about the bigger version of Jessica Drew they're doing, played by Issa Rae. They're calling her Jess Drew during the movie, and she is pregnant like the regular version of Jessica Drew in the comics. There's some people that feel like they saw a version of PS1 Spider-Man in here. There's a version of Cyborg Spider-Woman that we've seen in the toys, but isn't in the trailer here. And even though I didn't spot him in the trailer anywhere here, I believe Andrew Garfield will also have some sort of cameo during the movie, even if it's only a visual cameo for the Amazing Spider-Man. But if you think you spotted any other versions of Spider-Man in this that I didn't talk about in the video, like I said, there's supposed to be like over 200 versions, so I only mentioned a fraction of them, and this trailer only shows a fraction of them. But part of the whole thing in the trailer is that Spider-Man 2099 and these other versions of Spider-Man really do not like what Miles Morales is doing. When the movie picks up, Spider-Gwen has been invited to join this Spider-Force, like this Multiverse Spider-Man team, but Miles Morales is not invited to join. That's why they had the voiceover in the trailer with his mother talking to him about not letting other people tell him he doesn't belong certain places. But I think part of the idea is that Spider-Man 2099 has gone so hardcore trying to fix the damage from the reactor, and he kind of blames Miles and the others for not stopping it sooner, because all the damage to the multiverse that they're trying to fix with this Spider-Force is because of what happened in Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales' Earth. It also seems like Spider-Man 2099 lost his daughter, like she died at some point, because this is meant to be a picture of him, I believe. So he's like the City Miles version of Spider-Man 2099. Like, I've seen a lot of shit, Spider-Man. But the way I talked about it in my last trailer video is more of a Captain America Civil War situation. The Spock character from the comics is meant to be the actual villain of the film. So I think all the scenes in this trailer of Spider-Man 2099 and the Spider-Force coming after Miles are meant to be kind of a misdirect. But I'll do more videos for the movie when we get more footage, we hear about more versions of Spider-Man, more Easter eggs. There's a bunch of stuff coming up too. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss it. Everyone click here for my full Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer video, and click here for my Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.